Well, hi there. We're going to have a look today at exercise 3F, which is more complicated expansions. Okay, but when we do them, they will not be complicated because we're going to break them down into simple bits. So, let's have a look at the first one for us to do, which is, well, it's x plus 3 times x minus 4. That's the first term. Then we have minus 4 into x minus 2. Okay, let's just see what we've got to do. Why don't we expand the first term by multiplying the x minus 4 in the second bracket by the x firstly. Then we'll multiply it by the plus 3 term after that. Okay, there it is. That's x times x minus 4 plus 3 times x minus 4. That is the equivalent of that first term above. And then we're going to add that second term onto the end. Okay, now that looks simpler already, doesn't it? It really does. So let's take that another step further and see what we get. That's x squared minus 4x from the first term plus 3x minus 12 from the second term, and what I've done there is I've expanded that third bracketed term, and that gets us minus 4x plus 8, because a negative times a negative gives a positive. Okay, now we have to just group our like terms together and see what we've got. Wow, there's our x-like terms. So let's see what that amounts to. We've got how many on the negative team? There's 4 on the negative team, there's another 4 at the back on the negative team, and there's 3 on the positive team. So, now, where did I get that from? Let's see now. I've got x squared plus 3x. So I've left the plus 3x alone, and I've worked out how many were on the negative team. So there was 8. There was 4 and another 4 on the negative team. So now I'm going to combine those x terms, those like x terms, into the final result of the x. There's 3 on the plus team, 8 on the minus team. Which team wins and by how much? The negative team wins by 5. Very good. Now, the last thing for us to do is to do the same thing, the tug of war with the minus 12 and the plus 8, and then we're finished. So, 12 on the minus team, 8 on the plus team. Which team wins and by how much? Let's have a look. Yes, you were right. Isn't that great? Okay, that one's finished now. So it wasn't really complicated, was it? If you just remember, inch by inch, anything's a cinch. That's what you do. That's my motto in maths. Okay, here we go, the next one now. I think we can handle this all right. The only danger I can see is that minus sign in the middle between the two bracketed terms, but we'll sort that out, no problem. There's our technique. We're going to multiply both of those first terms, that's x from the first bracket times x plus 3, that's what I get, and now the minus 2 times the x plus 3. Being careful with our signs, okay, that's a minus 2, so you get minus 2x, and minus 2 times plus 3 gets you minus 6. Okay, let's see what else we got. Now, do you notice how I put a bracket and then I expanded those two bracketed terms, just like I did the first bracketed term, but I left the whole thing inside a bracket with a minus sign out the front, because that minus sign's got to be dealt with now, okay? Let's just expand it all out completely now. Now, do you agree with what I've got there? Minus x squared, minus 2x, because you've got a minus times a plus, and then we've got plus x, because that's a minus outside the bracket times the minus x, and then we've got plus 2, because it's a minus outside the bracket times negative 2. Okay? My goodness, that looks pretty complicated and cluttered, doesn't it? I think we better start grouping some like terms together. Oh, well, that's a good start. The x squared terms just cancel each other out. Well, let's deal with the x terms now and see if we can't manage that. Oh, right, so we've got 3x plus x, that groups the plus ones together. Then we've got minus 2x minus 2x, that's grouping the minus team ones together. And then I've got minus 6 and plus 2. Now, let's group the like terms together. They're like terms, yeah, and so that comes to 4x. And those ones are like terms. They're on the minus team, so we've got minus 4x. And then what else have we got? Yes, there's a tug of war between the minus 6 and the plus 2. The negative team wins by 4. Now, what do you think we do next? Have a good look at that line there and see what you think. What do you think? Well, I think we're going to have a tug of war between those x terms, and I think no one's going to win because we've got 4 on each team. So they cancel out. And strange as it might seem, we've got an answer of minus 4. From all that, we got minus 4. How do you like it? Anyway, now, let's move on to the next one. It's already at the top right-hand side, and we'll see what we get. Oh, that's a difference of 2 squares, isn't it? Did you recognise that? And the second term is a perfect square. Now, we've learned how to do both difference of 2 squares and perfect squares in a previous lesson. So let's go for it. Yeah, we can just use our formulas that we know how to use now. The difference of 2 squares formula gets us x squared minus 4, and the perfect square formula gets us exactly what I've written there. Now, I think what we should do next is probably just expand or get rid of that minus sign and get rid of that second bracket, okay, by multiplying all those terms in the bracket by minus 1. Oh, I didn't do that. Oh, well, we'll do it next line. There it is. Now, do you agree with what I've written there? Have a good look. Particularly the signs of those last 3 terms. Yes. Okay, we're in agreement, aren't we? Good. Now let's start collecting like terms. Oh, there's a good start. The x squared terms knocked each other out again because there was one on the plus team, there was one on the negative x squared team, and no one won the tug of war. Now, where does that leave us? Oh, okay. We've only got one x term, minus 4x, and we've got minus 4, minus 4. Now, those minus 4s are like terms. Which team are they on? The negative team. So how many are they on that team? There are 8. And there's your answer. It's easy, isn't it? When you just take it one line at a time, and inch by inch, anything's a cinch. Why don't we have another one now, and see whether we can knock that one over as well. Well, that doesn't look so bad. So let's, I think the 2 in the front of the first bracketed term could be a bit of a problem. Let's multiply it out first, all inside a big bracket, and then times it by 2, I think. Yes, that's pretty good. We can do that. And the second term, I've actually applied my perfect square formula to get that result you see there. Have a good look. Do you think it looks right? The first term squared plus 2 times the first term times the second term plus the second term squared. That's the rule for perfect squares. Okay, let's multiply that first bracket out by multiplying every term in it by the 2, except we better clean it up first. And I've cleaned up the second one, so it's now time to expand out the first bracketed terms by 2 and get rid of that second bracket. Yeah, excellent. Did you notice how I multiplied every term in the first bracket by 2? Because that's what that means. Everything in there is multiplied by 2. Well, all we've got to do now is get all our like terms all sorted out, and I think we're done. Yeah, they're like terms, so then there's 3 of them. Now, where's some more like terms? Oh yes, they're like terms. They're all on the negative team too. So how many of them are there? There's 2 on the negative for the first of those terms and 4 on the negative for the second of those terms, so we get 6 on the negative team. Now the last but not least are those two, the number terms. Think about the tug of war again. Which team wins? The negative team. By how many? Yes, 20. And there's your answer. You see, it's easy. If you just go inch by inch, anything's a cinch, and we've done it. Okay, well, we'll see you all next time. Bye for now.